Hello, my friends. Again, I'm so happy you are with us today. I have special guests today. One of my best partner, not just mine, I think one of best partner every ballerina can say. Wonderful person, very talented person. I can say ballet superstar. This is my beloved Julio Bocca.
Hey!
Hey, Julio.
How are you? Yes.
I'm okay. It's amazing. Today we have time and we can talk. And I just want to say to you, salute, because I know you like it wine. Even it's time different.
Yes, salute.
God bless you. Even
nice to be here.
my time is good for wine. For you, it's too early. Julio, I just want to introduce yourself to my friends, maybe who know you like dancers, fantastic dancers. But everybody interesting a little bit about family. How you start ballet? Who is your family?
Okay. My family is coming. My grandfather was from Italy. So during the war, he moved to Argentina. And there with my grandmother, I have one child, my mother, Nancy, who loved ballet, who loved music. So, and that time was not all this technology. Not even in my family, we never have a TV. So my grandfather loved all art and culture and music. So put her into the school, National Ballet School in Buenos Aires. So there she was. She received as a teacher, as a ballet dancer, contemporary pianist, violin, so many things. And so when I was born, my father not recognized me. So that's why I have my last name Bocca, because of my mother. And so when I was very little, I always loved to be in the studio, listen to music, moving around. So when I was 4 years old, I don't know how you call, the baby when they use that to sleep.
English, yes. But I know this is what you mean. Yeah.
Okay, that. I was 4 years old with that. So my mother always have, at the end of the year, with her school, a performance.
Yeah.
So I remember going into the stage with my dad thing. In the middle with everybody was dancing. I was there listening, going out. Of course, I was the son of the director, so she was never going to put me out. So she let me to be free. So when I was 7 years old, I told my mother that I love to be a dancer. I want to be to go to this ballet school. So she took me to the National Ballet School first. So I did it 1 year, and that year it was a teacher from there who also was a dancer from the Teatro Colón.
Mm-hmm.
So he said to my mother, "Why, put him into the Teatro Colón Ballet School?" So she took me there. I did an audition. I was 8 years old. You're supposed to be 10 to get into the school, but because I was the only boy, I have all the chances to get in. So they let me in when I was 8, and I started my 2 schools in that time. I was doing the National Ballet School in the morning, and then afternoon the regular school, the academic school, and in the evening the Teatro Colón Ballet School. I was living in outside the capital of Buenos Aires. It was like an hour and a half taking the train and the bus. So I was doing every morning 6 a.m. take the train, the bus, arrive in the school, do the school, go to the academy, go to the Teatro Colón Ballet School, and then going back to the National school because my mother was in the evening working there. So I was going there to wait for her, and then we back together into home. And I arrived around 11:30 in the evening. And next day, 6 a.m. again, all over again. But for me, it was always like a game. I was playing, I was enjoyed. It was not, in a way, it was a sacrifice, but it was not really a sacrifice because I was loving to do. And I still love ballet. So that was my beginning.
Julio, it's amazing because a lot of boys with whom I talk, my partners, my colleagues, they all say, of course, mother put it there in the ballet, but ballet love, they're feeling much later, much later. So now I want to ask you this question. Of course, you have natural talent of your, we always say your pirouettes, it was like point pirouettes. It's so much, you have really good feet. I think you are so soft, maybe it's also natural. So first your teacher was your mother, and then you have some professional teacher in the school, how you finish school, and then first company you enjoying?
Well, my mother was very little my teacher. She always give me the freedom. And so when I went to the National Ballet School and the Cologne School, there I have my first really teacher. That was Maria Luisa Lemos. And the funny thing, she was teaching me in the National Ballet School and the Teatro Cologne Ballet School. For the first years, I had the same teacher. So that was the beginning of real training of ballet. So I did almost for 7-8 years. But when I was 14 years old, I did have my first chance and my first contract as a corps de ballet in Caracas, Venezuela. So I started working in a company when I was 14.
Oh my God!
Already.
How possible? You live separate? You live yourself there?
Yes, we went like 3 or 4 more dancers from the school of the Cologne working there. But of course, I was living with them, but I have to take care of myself, cleaning the apartment, cook, shopping, pay bills. So for me, was at that age, between 14 and 15, I have to grow up so much. I have to be like a 25 year old boy. And but it was a beautiful experience. That was my beginning of my career. Of course, they start giving me some solist role, principal roles. And then from there, my first principal role was La Fille Malgardée from Ashton. They invited me in the Teatro Municipal of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, when I was 15, going to 16. I did with Ana Botafogo, one of the principals from there, from Brazil. That was my first time I did a full ballet. And from there, I started working with the Teatro Cologne company as a solist, doing Romeo and Juliet from Vittorio Biaggi and the Royal Mercutio, Le Toreador from Fleming Flynn, Conservator, many different ballets. And then I went to the Osaka competition when I was 17, ending of the 17. And the second round, there was 3 rounds, but the second round, the jury members say, bye-bye, out. And then after that, 7 months later, I have the chance, and I want to, and at that moment, I was not wanted to go back to another competition because I was already have my job. I was already in a company. But I saw myself that maybe it will be my only time I can dance at the Bolshoi. And so I want to say, okay, let's go to Moscow competition so I can know Russia, I can see the company there and their own home, and to have the chance to see the Bolshoi. And I went with that idea. It was not to do the rest what happened later, right?
Julio, it's amazing because you start quite early, but this pas de deux in the La Fio, I also dancing quite difficult pas de deux, quite lots of work for especially boys. But when you was that young, it was difficult for you to partnering ballerina. Or no?
Well, when I was in the Cologne, we have partnering, and I started doing partnering when I was 10, because it was not so many boys in the school. So, you know, I think we went like maybe 6. And so I started very early, and also with different kind of body type. Some very tall, some very short, a little more muscular, a beautiful skinny one, different. Mm-hmm. So I need to learn myself, because also we never have a boy, a man teacher class, partnering class. We have a woman. Mm-hmm. So it was never something to explain to us. It was just us to try to find the right way. And I always loved to be to partner. I don't know. I always wanted to touch the girls, to lift and turn it, and you know. So I was really concentrating on how to do and how to find the right balance of the ladies. So I started very early. So when I was already 14 or 15 that I did my role, I was already have a lot of experience. Of course, one never have experience to be on the stage, stomach, you know, and with costumes and everything. That was very difficult. That was, but I always was very good partner. I mean, I was always secure. I always trust myself.
Well, we ballerina can say how good partner you are. Definitely. I'm not forgetting when later we danced together in the ABT. This is fantastic. My 16th season with you in the ABT. So every day you have different ballerinas, and every day you don't have even time to rehearse with us. But all of us, we feel ourselves so comfortable. It's amazing. Julio, go to a little bit back. Moscow competition. I remember you. I also was in this competition. But of course, that time I don't speak, even I don't speak now good English, but that time at all. We just see very talented Argentinian boy, Julio, everybody was looking. So, say your feeling that time to see this huge stage, rake stage, and the Bolshoi. What was feeling?
Well, I mean, the feeling was amazing, but I have to say, the Teatro Colón is a huge theater also, and we have rate, and we have a big stage, not big like the Bolshoi, but very big. You know, and the theater can go in 3,500 people to watch the performance. Mm-hmm. So it's a big theater, 6 floors up. I mean, big. So I was having that feeling already. It's not like for the first time something so big. Of course, the big thing was the Bolshoi, and to be on that stage that so many incredible artists were dancing, were touching the floor. That was so touch for me. How I said before, I went there just to see that and to have that feeling and to have the chance, you know, just to be there. I was not the idea to compete. That was not my, you know, my first thing. Yeah. I was just want to be and dance and enjoy myself and to show the best that I can be in that time. How the audience.
Julio, sorry, but who financially it also was not easy. Even that time, ticket was maybe cheaper. But anyway, you have some support or your family.
No, my family. It was very hard to get. And that time, the competition pay the flight back, so we have to pay only the half of the flight. That was very nice. And so I tried to find things to do, just try to get people. But of course, in Argentina, in that time, thinking of a sponsor or something like that was not in the community, was not on the government thing.
Yes, what I want to say, yeah.
But it was a foundation, or the Teatro Colón Foundation. So I asked them if they can pay both, my partner Raquel Rossetti and me, to go to the competition. That moment, in the beginning, they say no. We cannot do this because there's nothing coming out from there. What it will be our back.
Yeah.
So okay, but let's try. So we find the money for that from the foundation of the Teatro Colón 1 week before to fly. we took we have the reservation, everything. It was a different time, right? So we have the reservation, everything, but into the last minute, we never know if we can get there. Also, was not so much direct fly, direct fly. So also to find a cheaper way to get there, we have to go to Amsterdam, stay there 3 days, and then fly to Moscow. At that time, the embassy. Sorry.
Our flight was empty, or it was quite full?
No, it was full. But the funny thing is, because we have 3 days to stay in Amsterdam, my partner, she's a Buddhist. So she wanted to go to Japan. So she went to Japan in that 3 days. She flew to Japan. She went to the temple. And then from Japan, she went to Moscow. And that 3 days, we went alone. We don't have any place to rehearse, to do class, anything. So I was in the home of the ambassador from Argentina in Amsterdam. And so we fly to Moscow. I know it sounds maybe crazy or strange, but we find together with my partner in the same line to cross immigration. She was 4 people in front of me. And she was coming from Japan and I was coming from Amsterdam. So destiny, it was
beginning
at that time. And so I arrived there and thanks to the foundation of the Teatro Colón. But also in that time, we know I have to work and rehearse, prepare myself after the timing of that I was working with the company. I was doing class in the morning with my teacher, Gloria Casta, private. And then from 9 to 9:45, and then run to the Colón, do the class 10 to 11, and then rehearse into 5. And after that, prepare for the competition. So it was a lot of work, but at the same time was so amazing to be there together. All the rest, I was not worried about.
So, and then competition. You are winner of competition, and how your life changed or career is changed? How you became dancing everywhere in the world? How you became to be principal dancer in the ABT, star in the ABT, guest artist in the ABT. I don't know what kind of position you received.
Well, after that competition, my whole life changed. Not only as a dancer, if you know, as a person. I went back to Argentina, and suddenly, one day to another, I was in TV and radio, newspaper, magazine, and everything. And suddenly, everybody started to know me. So walking on the street, people recognize me. want an autograph, say hello. So I remember at that time, my head was so big. I was, no, I was treating my friends very bad, my family, because I say I'm superstar.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Yes. So my manager, a good manager, a good friend, still a good friend, give me one phone number, and that phone number was a psychology person. So I went there, and that moment was so good for me because put my head where it's supposed to be and my feet on the ground. So in that moment, Lino asked me, where do you want to go? Well, I say, I would love to go IBT. I like the company. They have so many different, artists from different countries. So my kind of type of body, I feel like I can, good. I can be good in that company. But of course, it's one of the best companies in the world. So, I'm never going to have that chance. So I remember have my first knee surgery in 1986 in June, after that I was guesting, performing in the Bolshoi and then the Kirov and Mariinsky, and Novosibirsk. That was during a tour. Get back there, and my knee was very swollen and very bad. So I went to the hospital. It was supposed to be something very quick, but when they did the studio, the nail was not very clean. So the infection in my articulation. So I was almost 2 months in bed after the operation. And in that moment, we received a call from Mikhail Baryshnikov, where he saw a videotape from the competition in Moscow, and he wanted me to meet in person, and he if I wanted to go there and see if I wanted to be part of the company, but we have to meet in person.
Yeah.
So for me, that moment was a shock. Like I was like kind of depressed. I would say, you think I will go back to dance? My knee will be good. My mind was like, so this put me energy again. And I said, yes, but not now, because I have so many performances to do. I was in bed, but I have to do a little light. Because if I tell Misha that I was a knee surgery, he was like, oh, thank you. So after that, I said, I can go one more later. And he said, yes. And so I called my teacher and said, tomorrow we start working back again. So I start do private classes alone in the studio with my teacher. And I fly to New York. Thanks to Howard Gilman and Natalie Moody, I arrived after 14 hours flight, because there was no direct flight at that time. I had to stop in Brazil and then connection. I arrived the same day after 14 hours. I went out to the airport, and there was Howard Gilman, one of the sponsors from ABT, and Natalie, the secretary, who speaks Spanish, because at that time I was not speaking English. Like how you say, like now, my English is good there.
Not our home language, so.
Yes, good. So I arrived there after I left the terminal, and there was Howard and Natalie. They took me to a limousine. Okay. A limousine to apartment, so I could take a shower. I took my shower, and then they took me to the studio. And then I arrived in the studio in 90 Broadway, where still ABT Studios. And then I arrived, Misha, say hi, change, and let's go to the studio. So I went to the studio the same day after the flight, and with Misha. So I was Gladys, the pianist, Jorgen Snyder, the teacher of the company, Baryshnikov, and myself on the studio only. So we did a whole class face to face with Misha, you know, in the bar. I was doing plie, tendu, and Misha here. We changed. You know, I was. My mind was like, wow, you know. So after that, he said, okay, change. Let's go to the office. So I went change. I went to the office, and then they asked me if I want to enjoy the company. So in my mind was, oh, of course, I would love to be, you know, the corps de ballet and the company. And he said, okay, tomorrow you come in and we sign the contract as a principal dancer of ABT. And I was 19 years old, and I signed the contract as a principal dancer in ABT. So there I started my career with ABT for 20 years. And of course, changed again, my whole life changed as a dancer, as a person. And after that, I went guesting with the Royal Ballet, with the English National, with a Danish company, with the National Ballet Spain, with Maya Pisescale was directing, so we did a tour together. And then I went to La Scala, Paris Opera, and
well, I'm like every magic
around the world. So that was my beginning.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. So, and it's amazing. I just say to you, we see each other in Moscow in the competition, and then in some galas. I remember some galas, but we never thinking to dance together. You know, just no chance, right? And suddenly you are principal dancer in the ABT, and 93, Kevin Mackenzie fly to London because I was dancing that time with Royal Ballet. And he says, Nina, we needed you. We're in a bad situation because, you know, this financially, they have really bad situation. I'm collecting back famous dancers. I really needed help. I went to ABT, and then you know my story. So it was my first one leg. Financially, ABT cannot force this, so I pay myself. And they say, Nina, it's normal ABT. Your partner is sick. Second partner is sick. Third partner is sick. I have just 2 days for performance. And first time dance with young one. And second time, he was also injured. And he told me, yes, we have just Julio Bocca. And I said, but how we can dance with Julio? We don't see each other, or maybe I'm too tall or something. And you was crossing this famous artist area. And I said, let's go down to studio, Nina. And we went to studio. We do just arabesque. And you told me, Nina, you are smallest ballerina I'm dancing. And we have one and a half rehearsal, and then same day we go on stage, and it was fantastic performance. And we forget it to try end of third act, if you remember, end of pas de deux, black pas de deux. And Kevin Mackenzie says when he was sitting in the box, he nearly jumped down because he knows, so we don't try at the end. And with my bad English, and you try to explain what I need to do, we improvise, and it was amazing, miracle. And since that's first choice in the ABC, it was you. I always love to dance with you. After this performance, I have 3 days stress. Of course, I don't sleep normally. So, but it's amazing, Julio. I always enjoy to dance with you. Doesn't matter. Even you come for same day, we don't have rehearsal. I know everything will be okay. Tell me, please, 20 years you dance with ABT. You travel a lot. Oh my God. I don't know. I thought I was crazy, but after you, your schedule was looking amazing. Fly forward and back. How many performances you dance during the year? Are you counted?
Well, first, I want to say, for me, that evening was an amazing experience. And every time I was dancing with you, it was amazing because we always have the freshman, the improvisation, that natural thing and trust. That's what we are. That performance was good because you trust on me. You went so crazy. I know I'm sure you must be so nervous that time, and especially first time in New York with the ABT and incredible Swan Lake. You know, like it's not the ballet for the prince, it's ballet for ballerina, and I was there. I went like, wow, this is amazing. You know, I don't have to do anything. She danced alone. I mean, I know I have to be there, you know, to support and to be there, but that's it. You know, I can be out sitting there watching and you do the part of the alone. So it was amazing for me. And after that, I always love to dance with you. The energy, you know, like energy in a good way, you know, competition, but the competition good. Like I can do this, you can do this. You know, let's, you know, Black Swan or Don Q, like playing. You know, it was really memorable. I mean, not for us only, but also for the whole company. The company was so exciting. They wanted, you know, that they're waiting for us to dance together because they're waiting for that spontaneous, you know. So back to the question.
Yes, I mean tickets. You do remember? So 4,000 people at the Met, and every time we go to ask 2 tickets, please, can you give me? They say no, sorry, you and Julio together, totally sold out, no tickets. One point we was upset because we cannot invite somebody, or other point, of course, I always was happy because always was sold out.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. So back to the question. I always have like between 200 and 220 performances a year. Because also, you know, in 1990, I create Ballet Argentino company, my own company. And so I was dancing with ABT. I was dancing some guesting with other company. And of course, touring and performing with my company. You know, sometime I was performing in the afternoon with ABT in London, doing second act of Baia there. And then from there, going to the airport, fly to Italy, and perform in the evening with my company in Spoleto. And with my company, I was doing Suite of Don Q, plus tango, and another contemporary piece. So always was 3 pieces with my company. So I was crazy like that, or performing in Paris Opera in a gala, and then the next day, take the Concorde at that time, fly to New York and perform in Tampa with ABT, Giselle. I was crazy. This is not natural. I not recommend this to everybody.
Yeah, you know,
it's not safe. It's not help.
Oh my God, I have near the 100, and I thought it's too much. But for 2,000, Julio, tell me, and this is how your schedule was looking. You was quite disciplined person to do all these things, to fly, dancing, or because you have natural talent, so everything comes much easy. So what kind of person you are?
Well, no, I always want to be on the stage. That was my first thing. I never want to be in class and rehearse anything, but I know I have to do it. I know I have to do class. So I always did class. I would say, remember in the beginning, I was maybe sometimes 3 classes a day when I was learning. And so I always took class. I found a good teacher in New York. That was Wilhelm Burman, who passed away this year. So I always have him sometime when I was travel. I always do my class. And I always remember Maya Pliseskaya tell me when we did this tour in Spain, when she was directing the company, she was doing Dai Swan, and I was doing Timmy Variation and Diana Action with the company. And I always saw it before she was working and rehearse and, you know, warm up for this show and everything. And in that time in my mind, I was doing class, but before the show sometimes, not always. And she said, you have to do every time. If you know you're going to have the trouble that I always have, my back problem, everything, because sometimes I was not doing class, but now I have to do it. And you have to learn to do it. It's so important. So I always have that in my mind, remember. So I always do class in the morning, and little warm up before the show. So that was the only way to get better. That was the only way to take care of myself, and also to be on the same level or to growing up. Because you can be principal like this now, but how you continue to be a good principal, how you continue your level, to continue you support your level and to get better, not just stay there a little bit. So doing class for me was very important, and I always did. And of course, to be curious all the time, try to do something different, something new, not always be in the same. I don't like to be comfortable, and ballet is not comfortable. Ballet is emotion, it's energy, it's you have to feel it, you have to want to. When the curtain is open, everything has to be in the right place, and I respect that. And as a teacher, I work that, and the young dancers try to remember to respect ballet, and to do it with quality.
So of course, with mind, with this lot of things is changing our lives. So we teach maybe what we don't do in my time, or we teach, or we want to share this what we learn from others. Tell me, please. You have also a lot of injuries, and during these injuries, how I remember during my 16 years in the ABT, you're recovering so well and so quickly. And your technique is don't go down. You are back immediately to do these tricks and everything. So again, my question is, this is because discipline?
Well, yeah, it's discipline. You have to have discipline. You have to want to be better. You have to want to be, and I always say, if you love what you're doing, make that. That's the thing that I always went back very quick, because I also doing my training very good. And to the last minute, I never stopped class between off the bar. I always finished the class. So that also, I think, it helped me to, when I was injured, to get back very quick. And also, you have to be very strong in your mind. I have 9 surgery. Knees, meniscus, my foot, the ligaments, my ribs. Sorry, no, by my finger. I have so many, and I was going back to that. But also, I tried to get this injury like something natural, normal. Sometimes I was performing Carcassonne and Black Swan Coda. My knee went out. And so I called my doctor, fly tomorrow to Buenos Aires, and I see you in the hospital for the surgery. I was right away into, things like that. So I was not losing time for it.
Julio, I always know in the ABT, Julio doesn't like it rehearsal. And I try to explain, not because he don't like it rehearsal, because he's very good partner. But he don't need it that much time to spending in the studio, because technically he's ready himself and he's fantastic partner, what is absolutely true. My question is, you work with different companies, with different ballerinas. For you, it's important what kind of relationship you have. I mean, I see a lot of beautiful performance with Alessandra Ferri, the ABT, and you look good, fantastic, well together. So this is important for you, or, I mean, I know we are professional, I know, so we can do this, but your feeling on stage, and you not just fantastic partner, you are very gentleman. I remember always your flower or basket flowers you give me after performance or before the performance. It was always different than others, Julio. So why I think it's your personality is different. So tell me, please, what you feeling when you dance with different ballerinas on stage?
Well, first, you have to have respect for the ballerina, for the people who you work with it, and try to find a way to trust each other, and have that connection that they have to, something happen natural, of course, but also you have to work to that can happen. Like how you say with Alessandra Ferri, we dance a lot also, almost 22 years together. And dance with her, it was a dreaming. She took a lot from me as an artist. I remember when I was 30 years old, after one performance of Romeo and Juliet, after we did so many, I remember going to her and say, now I feel like an artist. Now I feel like on your level. Mm. And I think it's the important thing here. It's the trust, the confidence you have with your partner. You know, that's is the most important thing. I remember to watch Vladimir Vasiliev when he came in a lot to Buenos Aires to perform when I was little. And the way he was treating Maximova, you know, the way he was behind her all the time and take care of the partner on, oh, please, on the bouts. You know, I was watching that. I was saying, wow, this is amazing, because he was an amazing dancer, technically an artist, partnering, I mean, beautiful, everything. And she was so little, so fragile. And he was also take care all the time. And that also, in my mind, stuck. I say, I want that. I want to be like that. I have to work for that. Because it's when you dance together with someone, even if you are a friend with your partner, but you have to have that chemistry. So we tell the story, you know, it's true, it's real. It's not just working in the studio and say, okay, you and me, we dance together, I love you. It's not that, you know, I have to have something natural, something improvised. They have to have that connection, that talking each other, you know, on the stage. You know, and if it does happen, that's, you know, it's very boring to see a beautiful couple. Yeah, you can see beautiful legs, partnering, everything perfect. But if they never look each other, yeah, you know, now sometimes they dance to the audience and whatever. Never, even when you give a hand, you give your hand to the dancer, you know, to your partner, not just okay, hand.
Yeah, you know, this is
something else.
This is you know, so many good dancers, and but very few great dancer, or very few, how you call, stars. I like it this don't like it this much, but what we can do, this is promotion. We are was calling like stars. What is this is what you say, this is absolutely right about Vasiliev. You know, in the Russian school, we have this to push ballerina front. And this is doesn't make it partner worse, or doesn't make it partner low, opposite. This make it partner really high. And I'm so happy you continue to teach this to young one. And this is really, really important. And about choreographer, you work with different persons. And what you think? You're a classical dancer mostly. In my time, I don't have chance to do lots. I invited Ratmansky to do some work with me, but I don't have at the Bolshoi a chance to dance with different choreographer. And you say that time when you was young, you was a little bit arrogant and you have a little problem. So how with choreographer? Are you happy, or you was happy when you work with choreographer, or you always have a little fight with them, or how?
Well, first, you know, in our generation, it always was the classical ballet and contemporary ballet, right? The styles. Mm-hmm. They're never together. So we never prepared to do new pieces, more contemporary. We're, at least in Argentina, we never was, they tell us to be prepared for it. Mm-hmm. So when I moved to New York, that was the first time I really started working with choreographer and try to understand. I was very lucky to work with Macmillan, Kenneth Macmillan. I mean, for me, I love him. Even if he's never done a piece on me, I feel like all the ballet he did, it was on me. I have that feeling. Uh, and also, they not teach you how to be with the choreographer. For myself, I always was very open. The problem with me, it was I'm very quick to learn.
Yeah.
So I learned everything so quick. So after they put a step, I already know, and I can do it. So, that's sometimes it's good when you have very short time to learn, but when you have a lot of time, I start getting boring. So that boring sometimes gets into the relation with the choreographer. Choreographers always want to be on the studio, always want to work more and to do this, and I'm and that time, plus in the beginning, I was like, no, I can't. So it was very hard for me to try to understand. Of course, when I was older, I understand, and I was getting better the styles. But I was very lucky, I don't know, to do pieces from Cranco. Twilatar did a piece on me, and he created a piece in 15 days. So because I was not having more time, so that was it. And so, but inside of me, I regret sometimes that I was not let me the chance to work with and the place with Kilian or Forsyth or another choreographers a little more time. Choreographers that I like, that I love to watch and to do it, but I think it's something that I miss, but it was my decision not to do it. And but it was with the time. No, now also I was no modern dancer. I was not prepared to be a modern dancer. So classical, one point all the classical is already done. So after that, you need to go to another style, and the new style always was very complicated. For me, because we were not prepared for it. Like now everybody, if you want to go to a company, even in Bolshoi, I'm sure you have to be a good classical and a good contemporary.
Exactly, exactly, because same I can say. So I was always afraid how I'm looking, or maybe I'm not so good in the contemporary because I never do this. And like you say, I'm so unhappy inside myself because I never have chance to try Kilian's work. I love Kilian, I adore Kilian. I met special Bejar in my life, but I don't have chance to dance Bejar. Really, I'm really friendly with Kenneth, with Kilian, Irji Kilian, but again, I don't have chance to work together. With Kenneth Macmillan, like you say, somehow we became really good friends, and we have planned for future to do together. And he told me, I cannot do 3-act ballet, but 1 act I will be so happy. And I was thinking how I can organize this in Russia, because Bolshoi at that time was closed for everyone, even for Kenneth. And suddenly after 3 months he died, and it's like my best friend is dying. It was terrible for me. And I think why I moved to ABT, it's also because Kenneth died. It was so difficult and very depressing for me. By the way, this is question after ABT, you done this, your fantastic life career, and you went back to directing company in Uruguay.
Yes.
Or you created first your own company. You quite a long time you dancing with your own company, right?
Yes, the company I have it for 20 years. We fly all over the world. We perform all over the world and places like I never dream about. I don't know if we were one of the first foreign company to dance in the Hermitage Theatre. But we performed there, and amazing places we went. we remember share one performance one evening. The first half of the evening was the Paris Opera and the Garnier, and the second half was my company. And so, little things that it was very good. But I was not the director and see who worked with the dancer because I was dancing. So I have the director who take care of everything. Of course, I was the head of it and who paid. Who want to what rep we do and everything. But for the first time, I really was a really director was when I moved to Uruguay. That was after my last performance in Argentina, and I needed to be in a place that I can walk on the street. I can, go to supermarket. Be a place more quiet. How in Argentina, I never can go to any places because everybody know who I was in that time, and so it was very difficult to go out. So I was in Argentina. I was inside of my apartment. That's it. So Uruguay gave me this opportunity.
So
when I moved there.
Sorry, darling. This is bothers you, so everybody recognizes you or something?
Well, I always grateful because the love they give me, incredible, and the respect. But of course, if you go to have dinner, and there they are very passionate. Okay, so sometimes I was having dinner and start going in, and people coming in. Oh, hi, Julio, how are you? Take a picture, give me this, and I was, from another table. Hey, Julio, come back, come here, take a picture. So, I was family, part of the family of everybody.
I know.
Beautiful.
Feels. Yeah.
It's beautiful, but at one point, I never, I did this because I love it, not because I want to be famous and everybody know me. I just want to be on the stage and dance. That's it. That's why. But I know that I have to do all the things. If I want to make ballet very popular, like I did in Argentina, you have to be an interview, you have to go press. So your face have to be there.
Yeah.
And I did in that way. But I was doing that to make sure everybody know that we're doing this and this and this, and then back to nobody can see me. So, after that, when I moved to Uruguay, I was for a year and a half doing nothing. And then suddenly I wanted to go back to the ballet. I was feeling that I need to get back all the things that I learned, all the people that I know, have the chance. Finish one performance of Giselle in San Francisco, knock the door in the dressing room. You open the door. It was Rudolf Nureyev there coming to congratulate me and, and share the bar next day in class with the company, or share the stage with Misha performing one ballet together from McMorris. And to have this possibility, dance with Carla Fracci or Makarova or Ludmila Semeniaka, with many great dances, to all that experience, what we share on the stage. Yes. I want to give it back to them, to the young ones. So I went back again, did class, and then they asked me if I want to direct the company in Uruguay, the national company. I said, yes, of course, but I need to be this way. I'm very coming from America. Almost my whole life was there in a company. So my mom is different, have organization 2 or 3 years in advance, contact the choreographers to come 2-3 years in advance, no, a week before. So the president at that time said, yes, of course, we give you all the support. So suddenly I started renovation this company, because the company is almost 83, 84 years old. It's not a young company, it's an old company. With the Colon, they are both the old most company in America. Yeah. And so they give me the opportunity, and I did this. And in 7 years, I rebuilt this company again. 104 performance a year. Choreographer Skillian, Nacho Duato, Forsyth, Tudor, Balanchine, Macmillan, Cranko, young choreographers. I mean, always full house all the time. And I really enjoyed that. But of course, I wanted to be more together with the dancers on the studio, no an office, mailings, and all meetings, and I did a lot of those. So at one point I say, okay, stop this. And that's when I decided to quit the job as a director and change again, renew myself as a teacher and coach, and going around the world, teaching in the schools, teaching in companies, and also for me that was very lucky, and I was really grateful. And I started to find out that in many places that even I was never danced, they know me and they respect me, and I was like, wow, how this, and so I went different places. I went to the School of Paris Opera to teach. I went to the Bolshoi Company to teach. I went to the National Australia.
You promised
of
to
course.
come here.
Well, yes, I promise, and I will. I will go after all this crazy thing that happened now. I will be there.
Julio, this is amazing because I mean, we danced together in the ABT seasons, like my 16 years near them. Just last season, I mean, you are finishing early, then I'm retiring with ABT. And I always dreamed to dance together in Moscow or in Tbilisi. And it doesn't happen. In Argentina, several times we planned, you was injured, then I was injured. And when suddenly it was your last performance in Argentina and you sent it me a message, Nina, this is my last, you must come down. Thank you for inviting me, because I never forget this evening. It was not just fantastic, I mean, dance on stage. You dance with every ballerinas, every 5 minutes you change ballerinas. No, because audience, what I see in the street, and I really wanted this to put to a program to my friends can see. This is more than, I don't know, 500,000 people stay in the street and you are dancing, and everybody was like weave comes like woo, Julio, woo, Julio. It's amazing. I really see how they love you. And I was thinking myself, oh, maybe one day when I really decided to retiring totally, maybe I can do the same thing in the Tbilisi. But you see, I'm stopped dancing now. I never did my performance. So this was amazing. Thank you for this wonderful, wonderful memory. Julio, this is great, you teaching. I mean, how you partnering, you must teach this to young one, because young one so talented today, but like you say, they're thinking how they are stretching their feet in the Tanzu Batman when they're holding ballerinas. So this is really important. We needed you around. And today is different situation. What you want to say to young one? We're sitting at home. We don't have studios today. It's still a lot of theater is closed. We want to perform. So last thing, what you want to say to all of young one or ballet lovers?
Well, I always wanted to say what I've been saying. Please stay strong. If you work at home, do it with a lot of concentration, and also take your time to know your body, to feel your body, because it's so good if we will learn how to do class as a really work process, not as a warm-up. This is especially for professionals now. Really a work we do later, working all the things. So this is, use this time, because you are alone at home. Sometimes you do a bar in a place that you cannot have a good place to do, but do it with concentration and try to find a way, like, something stupid, but move the fingers. Okay, how you feel the finger, how they connect with your body, what is in your mind, how you feel. So after that, this has to be natural. You don't have to have your mind thinking, I have to move this finger. They have to go natural. So your mind can go to, okay, I have to prepare this character. I have to prepare this role, how I can interpret it, how, so we can go to other places, not all the time work in class and then and rehearse the same thing, double tour, pirouette. No, classes to clean up, to put yourselves together, to be pure. And
Yeah.
then rehearse time is to go a little more. So I say to the young ones, please take the time and try to feel yourself, to feel inside, and really what you want to do. You
That's
really love to do this, not? You really want this? And be strong, because we have to be ready. When this is open, we go back to the studio or to the stage. We have to be ready there again, so the audience can enjoy us again and in a good level.
Yeah, and we don't spend a lot of time to go in the shape. This is absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much to be with me, and I hope so you come to Georgia to teach to my dancers.
Yeah.
Everybody loves you so much and respects you, and you are sharing your opinions and what you learn. For you have, like we say in the Russia, you have very heavy baggage.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Julio. And I say to young one also, like when we are sitting at home today, it's the same feeling when we have injury and we cannot dance, but we was working for something. So like today we are in the pause, but you don't have injury. So use this time for everything, for knowledge, for reading, for watching,
Exactly.
for to balance, even better balance. But we know everything will be okay, and ballet life, ballet beautiful art will continue like it was. Thank you so very much to be
Yes,
with
it
you.
will be.
And also,
No,
God
please.
bless you.
Thank you.
God bless you. Chin, God bless you.
God
And
bless
take
you.
care, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers, cheers.
Thank you. And hi to everybody there.
Thank you, darling. Bye bye now.
Thank you.
Thank you.